Hey yo, this is Guido coming after the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate the support of the channel. Keep it up. Keep it up. All right, I just had this battle and it got me thinking. What you're about to see here is a complete face roll, a romple stomp, as it were. And I'm going to rack up nearly 5,000 damage. The nearest guy to me is going to be about 2,600, and nearly everyone else, I think everyone else is less than 2,000, more closer to 1,000 than anything else. And it got me thinking for two reasons. Number one, I looked at it and went, well, that's a good game. Should I show it on the channel? It's just me getting a lot of damage against a really bad team. And that's true. That's true. They got face rolled. But it also got me thinking a little bit about stats and win rates. And it is in conjunction with a forum post that I recently saw. It's actually from one of you guys saying something to the extent of, I feel like I only have a vote in about 20% of my battles. I think what it really said is I feel like I don't have anything to contribute in 80% of my battles. So this is kind of a big picture discussion about that. And really, at the end of the day, depending on how good you are, it's probably that kind of percentage. Some people like to say, 40% or 30% of your battles you can swing. There's a lot of different mathematic models that people have used to kind of show that idea. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Whatever the percentage is that you can sway, whatever that number is, that's how the game is built, right? So even if we say it's rigged against us, some people come out with better outcomes than others. And the question then is why? Well, it's my contention it's purely down to your skill over time. Given a large enough sample size, the more skilled player will end up with better stats as a general rule. But we need to dig a little deeper into that and say, but why? What are they doing in the game? So let's move away from the it's rigged or whatever. If you're sitting there and saying the game picks who wins and loses every time, then this is not a video for you. It's probably not a channel for you either, actually, because that's not true. The game does not go he wins, he loses, she wins, she loses, he wins, she loses, and then does that over thousands of battles, and then you get a guy with a 60% who the game has decided gets 60%, and you have a gal at 46%, and the game's decided. That just doesn't happen. If it is rigged to make general outcomes overall, then everyone's playing against that same rigging. And so your skill then becomes the determining factor. And is it in 100% of your battles, 50%, 20%? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because whatever the stat range showing skill is, that's what it is in the game, which is one of the reasons why we have somewhere between 60 and 45% where nearly everybody lives, with some outliers on either side. Okay? It is because the tolerances are pretty tight within this game. So all that aside then, the question then is how within a game? So let's just break down one game and look at how it was that I got a pretty good player, right? Not the best, better than most, not as good as some. How does a pretty good player like me rack up nearly 5,000 damage in a face roll when other players who had the same opportunity I did, they're in the same game, they're facing the same enemy team, why didn't they get that number, right? What was I doing that got me there? Now that to me is the more salient question on trying to figure out how I get my stats, how I get my win rate. And I'm not talking necessarily just me, but when I say I mean all of us, okay, as we sit here and look at our own game. How do I, the person that's asking that question, arrive at these stats? What am I doing? What am I doing in the game? What am I thinking about? What am I looking at? Where am I going? What's my thought process? How is it that some people, Guido or Skill or whoever it is that's good, okay, how do they do that consistently? All right, so we'll just get started here. I load in, the first thing I do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a look at the map, I'm going to take a look at the mode, and I'm going to look at the teams. Nice cursory glance, what's going on. I'm top tier. Good, that's fantastic. That is in my favor. I'm in a medium tank. I'm thinking, this is kind of a heavy brawling tank in the city, or a heavy brawling map in the city. Do I want to go field and futz around? Do I want to support the heavies? But then you look at it and go, ooh, there are no top tier 9 heavies. As a matter of fact, we're pretty light on heavies in the middle. There's a Tiger 2 on the enemy side, a 100-01, a WZ-120, which is relatively hard-hitting TD, but none of that is very scary to me in my T55. As a matter of fact, based on the armor this thing has, some of it I have a fairly good confidence level of being able to deal with. So I look at it, and my immediate idea is I'm going to city. I'm in a medium, top tier. I'm looking at the lineups. I feel like I can get into the city and do some work. Now, what we're going to talk a lot about here is reading the battle as you go, positioning yourself, flowing the meta flex, okay, and keeping the pressure on when you start to sense that you're winning. So the first thing I know is the EBR 75 FL10 is out in the field. That doesn't surprise me. Okay? Look where the AMX 30 went. One of our top tier mediums. He went, ooh, I'm a medium. I go to the field. Well, the problem with the field is all the hit points are going to be in the city. Another reason why I push into the city. Another reason why I get so many hit points of damage. I have positioned myself in the most important area of this map based on the situation at hand, and given myself immediately a chance to be doing more damage than everyone else, simply because I went to the correct place. Okay? Now, the AMX 30 may hold them out in the field. Let's see what he does. I'm not saying that it's a pure damage game and that he's not going to serve a purpose, but if you're honestly asking yourself the question, how does someone get 4,900 odd damage in a game like this? Here's your answer. The answer is not the AMX 30 going out into the field. All right? So we're just going to look at facts. So I come around here. I do not get lit. I am looking that way. I sort of expected somebody to be peeking right there, or maybe even to come in. So immediately I'm thinking, this, I'm starting to kind of feel like this is a bit of a defensive team. Now, this position is highly aggressive, but I can see that the majority of my team is going to pile into town. I'm just faster. I made the decision faster. We don't have 5-6 tanks going out to the field. We don't have a bunch of guys headed out to this field over here. There is a light over there, the 1357. He'll play a part in a minute. And I'm thinking, all right, I'm feeling like we can be pretty aggressive. Now, this middle bit here, this is a hard spot to hold if somebody gets aggressive into this little courtyard right here. But let's see what happens. So I'm going to come around here. I'm going to minimize my exposure to anyone who might be trolling around in this area. Okay, I do want to watch out for them, and I want to see if anybody shows up in the middle. Oh, look at this, a tiger. Blap. Little shot into him right there. Now, this is a strong position against that tiger. See that rubble pile right there? I can pretty much get shots at him, and he's going to have a hard time shooting into my lower hull. He's going to have to accept shots into my upper hull or my turret, and he will be slightly looked down, so he does have a chance to pin. Well, let's see how this goes. Notice the 1357 is moving, and I saw that. And that's a canary in the coal mine kind of idea. What is he telling me about what's on my right side? Because this is exposed to an aggressive team coming in this area in these bushes and buildings and punishing me. But let's see what happens. So far, he's showed me nothing. And this is where you put the pressure on. I know that Tiger 1 reloads quickly. I'm just about as fast as he is. He's slightly inside of me. But that means I can trade pretty much every time he can shoot. Now, he tries to stop getting hit smartly, but I find this little hole, and I'm just going to sneak another one right into there. Notice the 1357, and I'm looking at the mini-map, has shown me there's nobody here. I can keep this pressure up. Okay? This is what I'm talking about when I say keep the initiative, keep the pressure up. I have this guy. I'm not being threatened by anyone else. Don't, back up and look around and see if you can pussyfoot around with this guy. Just get rid of him. I mean, this is XP Pinata time. I'm just going to come around. Boom. We take him down. Now, immediately, I'm looking for my next hit points. Where are they coming from? Look what we got going on over here. The MX-30 is still out in the field. Now, he is dealing with a Leopard PT and some lights. So, they have kept these guys from flanking us. That is important, but he's not going to get damage doing that. All right? He's not going to get damage doing that. The low is up here. I guess he's sniping. And the rest of them are pushing into town. They're doing a little bit of damage. And then watch this T-28. This T-28 takes advantage of what looks to be a very passive enemy team. And I notice him moving in. I'm thinking, all right, let me just turtle up for a second. And then I go, you know what? I like this. He just showed me nobody is on that road. They all seem to be around in this little corner here. I'm imagining there is something up here, a TD or two. But 1357 has showed me nothing here. Here's their concentration. Let's fold around on those guys. Keep the pressure up. I'll look here first. I see him moving in. There goes the 1357. Even better SA because he didn't take a hit, and it is time to go. Keep the pressure up. Now, you can easily overextend in situations like that. That's why I didn't immediately go, but I immediately started working on where am I going to go to get my next hit points. I am always, always, always trying to get to the next hit points. So the T-28's taking this guy on. We'll take him. I see the T-29. I did not mean to block the 1357 shot. He's having a good old time. I sort of expected that T-29 to come at us. The Tiger, too, I go after him, try to take this guy down, but he dies. And now I'm going to tuck up on this little corner here. And now I'm going to try to figure out how to get rid of this T-29 without taking a hit. I thought he might get aggressive and push. The T-28 takes a big hit from the 100-01. And when I see that, I'm like, all right, I have to get rid of this T-29. Let's see if we can bait him. There we go. So we bait him. We come out, put a shot. I know I'm inside his reload. Even though it took me a few potatoes to get there, he has a relatively long reload. I am going to beat him in reloading, and we'll just get rid of him. I noticed the TD behind me. The 1357's kind of got him busy. So I just turtle up so I don't get hit by him. And look at now, we are really starting to start the face roll. Okay, keeping the pressure on. My next target is getting rid of this 100-01 so he doesn't kill off my T-28. Plus he's got some nice juicy side shots. Put a shot into his side. The 1357's having a good old time blapping him, but he eats the big WZ shot. So I'll get out of his way. Thought about going this way. Actually, I did go this way, sorry. So I decided to change what I'm doing because I really don't want to go out and get shot in the side by the 120. Another thing that's important there is I got stunned. I just got rid of it. I don't want to deal with the stun. I want my reload to be as good as it can be. We'll just get rid of that stun. We'll come around here, try to help this T-28 stay alive. Let's get rid of the WZ if we can, or at least wound him. There we go. Now I'm going to get out of the T-28's way. If he has a shot, there we go. So T-28 gets him, and then I can push into the WZ. He finally gets a shot at me, but that's the first damage I've taken, and we're getting into the face roll. So pressure, pressure, pressure. I'm continuing to find guys to shoot. Look at the AMX-30. He's still sitting back here, right? Leopard PTA, the Barask, they've all kind of been hanging out in the back. I'm at 2,900 damage, and instead of just running away from this guy, I just come on up here and go, you know what, if he shoots me, don't care. There we go. Oh, bummer. Check 6, just see if something's coming up behind me. He gets hit. Looks like he's kind of busy, so we'll just come in here. There we go. A little bit better aimed shot. And I don't know what happens here. I think we get a little bit of weird lag going on. Yeah, I was trying to turn right, and it just would not turn right there. We've had a bit of that with the with all the silly apocalypse. So the SCOTUS shoots me, and I'm thinking, well, that's a bummer. Let's just take the shot, right? He may hit me again. That's fine. And he backs off. We're at 3,820. There's the artillery. Let's go get rid of that guy. Free hit points. Boom. And I will push forward and left. The reason I push forward and left is to put this piece of ground between me and this guy, because I'm getting down to some low hit points, and I'd rather get some more farming in than let him kill me when he gets a full clip. And again, just moving from hit points to hit points. Aggression. Now, I was starting to think about getting my 6 kills here. I was kind of hoping somebody would soften him up enough, and then I went, you know what, whatever. I'm just taking the shots as I can get them. I don't know what happened there. He bounced. We get this kill, but unfortunately I can't get... I only need 2 more kills to finish the mission for 6 kills, but I'm not unable to get there. I see that too late. I'm trying to back up. Don't have enough elevation. It wouldn't have mattered anyway because the T-28 nukes this guy, and I don't get any more damage. So we're at 4,949, 99 assists, 1,040 blocked, and 4 kills. So yes, it's a face roll. The enemy team was pretty bad. They got enveloped. They got crushed pretty quickly. I mean, it's not even, we're not even at the 5-minute mark, and they're about to be completely out of the game. But the question here, and what I'm trying to show you, is that even in this situation, there were 15 other people on my team that were against this same team, but I ended up with 4,900. And I do that more often than most people. And why is that? Because I can recognize those situations as they start. I tend to go to the important fighting places anyway. Okay, I tend to be more aggressive. Yes, you can overextend, but in the large meta picture, if you are carefully aggressive, you'll have more of these than you won't have these. Okay, I guess you'll have more of these than you'll overextend and die. If you're just an idiot and you YOLO forward and die, okay, That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about is reading the battle, watching the flow, continuing to be aggressive, and continuing to press. Okay, press the advantage. Never give up the advantage. Keep on pushing these guys until the collapse really starts, and then it's just a matter of cleanup on aisle 2, get as many shots as you can in there. So, like I opened up with, talking about, all right, maybe only 20%, 30%, 40%, whatever the number is you believe you can control. The better you are, the more control you have over time on how much damage you do. And then the question becomes, when you get into matches, how do you act? How do you operate? How do you crank out as much damage as you can? And that's important. It is important, because a 50% player will get 1,000, 1,500 in a game like this. 55% player will be at the 2,000. Somebody at my level or higher will be in the 4,000 to 5,000s, because they understand how to get the damage. And I think the biggest thing is they try to do that. That's the intention from the very beginning of the game, is that where do I go to get damage? Where do I flow to next to get more damage? And after that, where do I go to next to get even more damage? And yes, if you get into a face roll, easy win, air quotes, but a lot of it had to do with how much damage I was pumping out. I mean, I took down 4,900 worth of their hit points. And early on, between the Tiger 1 and the 100-01 and the T-29, those were some important tanks to get out of the way, while the rest of them kind of picked and took little sniper shots and moved in here and there. And the AMX-30 hung out. He's still actually in the same place over there. He's been pinned down the whole time. We'll take a look at his damage when we get there. He might have been the 2,600 one, actually. So I thought it was interesting, keeping up the pressure, how you read a battle. Even on a face stomp, it is instructive to look at it and figure out how people do it. Okay, it is important to look at and go, well, how's the game constructed, and is it fair, is it rigged, all this stuff. We can always look at that. But then the question becomes, since we're all playing the same game, how do we operate within that system? And if I want to be better, I want to have a higher win rate, I want to do more damage, what are the things within that system, how it's built? It is what it is, folks. It's built by Wargaming. This is what we have. How do I operate within that system to do as best I can? Because if you just sit back and go, well, the system's rigged, I can't do anything, well, that's simply not true. I mean, it's 100% false. You may not be able to do what you want to do. You might feel like the game's holding you back from doing what you can do. But if you blame it on the system and don't operate within it, well, that's on you, not the system. All right, guys, that is all I've got. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that helps some of you guys kind of maybe change your angle or the way you look at it, or at least give a different opinion if you're completely diametrically opposed to me and you believe the entire thing is rigged and somehow Wargaming picks winners and losers. Like I said at the beginning, if that's how you think, then this is probably not the channel for you, unless you think I'm just a big shill and you're having a laugh. But whatever, it doesn't matter. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Like I said, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your support. Throw me a subscribe if you like what you saw or learned something. There are other ways down in the description to help, I guess, if you'd like. And that's all I've got. We will see ya.